Returns. That's Superman there. You can tell by the S. That means hope, by the way. I don't know if that's true, but it is true in Man of Steel, at least. And this is the Bryan Singer film. And like I mentioned during the Superman, the movie video I did, I'm making my way through Superman films because James Gunn's Superman opens tomorrow. I think there's showings you can see tonight. I'll be seeing it this weekend at some point. And I won't be able to get to Man of Steel before my showing of Superman, but I'll probably watch Man of Steel after I watch James Gunn's Superman and then do a video on that one, because typically if I watch something in the theater and there's other movies associated with it, I'll go back and watch them, much like I just did with Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, but I won't be able to get to it before the James Gunn Superman. And let's flip this over here and go and read the back. It's beyond super, it's superb. And come on, Richard. So during the 5 years Superman sought his home planet, things changed on his adopted planet. That would be Earth. Nations moved on without him. Lois Lane now has a son, a fiancé, and a Pulitzer for Why the World Doesn't Need Superman. And Lex Luthor, seen here, has a plan that will destroy billions of lives. Filmmaker Bryan Singer, X-Men X2. X2 being one of the better superhero movies, honors and takes the legend in a powerful new direction. I don't know if I agree with that. Honors, yes. Powerful new direction, I'd say this is more an extension. Brandon Routh in the title role leads a top cast that includes Kate Bosworth as Lois and Kevin Spacey as Lex, and the thrills from a sky grapple with a tumbling jumbo jet to a continent-convulsing showdown redefine wow. Wow, indeed. And we have some special features here, which I have not watched. Nearly 3 hours of exclusive in-depth documentaries, including the making of Superman Returns from script to screen, designing Superman, from art and costume design to set construction, and I immediately identified this person as Superman, so good job. The joy of Lex behind the scenes with Kevin Spacey. If this were to come out in 4K, they'll probably cut that one. Let's see, how filmmakers recreated Jor-El, Superman's father, played by Marlon Brando, and over 10 minutes of scenes in 1080, and over 10 additional scenes. Okay, so this must be, there's like 15 minutes or so that Bryan Singer is on record saying he cut from the movie, with the initial cut that I think was shown to like a select audience. I don't think this film had any test screenings, so that must contain the deleted scenes. I would imagine so. Just kind of interesting how they phrased it as over 10 additional scenes, since those were deleted at some point, but not that big of a deal. And normally I'm against like inserting these, digital phantoms into movies, but I do feel that Jor-El was done really tastefully in this. I don't know if they had like archival footage or something of Marlon Brando, or just repurposed footage from the Donner films, but it's done very seamlessly. Like there isn't anything about it that makes me think, oh, this, they should have just done a voiceover or not done it at all. I think they did a really good job with it. And I don't think there's anything else in here. Let's see what we got. Yeah, so we have the disc here. There's Brandon looking good. Important notice. And about something here. Oh, thank you. And we have some more Blu-rays available. Just give you a idea of when this came out. So The Departed, that's out on 4K. Superman, as mentioned, is not out on 4K. 300 is Happy Feet. I don't know about Happy Feet. Planet Earth. That version of Planet Earth isn't on 4K. I want to say there is. I think Planet Earth 2 is out on 4K, and Blood Diamond. I haven't thought of that movie in a while. That's not out on 4K. Actually, the Blood Diamond. I wouldn't know when that movie came out. Probably the mid-aughts or something. This movie, I don't want to spend time in the story, but I just wanted to go see a movie. I was like, oh, I'll go check out Blood Diamond. And on the way to the theater, I realized I was like super hungry. So I popped into a Dunkin' Donuts that's pretty close to the theater in question, and I purchased like an egg and cheese, like on a everything bagel. And I didn't have time to eat it though, and I was thinking, who the hell is seeing Blood Diamond? It just seemed like one of those movies that, it's in the theater, and like you wonder, do people watch these movies? And I'm the type of person that actually does, but I wasn't expecting anyone else. So I figured out, I was like, oh, I'll bring the sandwich into the theater and I'll eat it while watching Blood Diamond. And I walk into the theater, it's nearly full. Like, it is, this is before like reserved seatings, and at least for my theater, and I had to sit next to people. Like, it was, may as well have been like a sold out show, and it really caught me off guard. And I realized I went there, like I had a breakfast sandwich, and then it was like in the breast coat of my jacket, breast pocket, and I ended up having to sit next to people. So I have like this, warm egg and cheese sandwich, like zipped up in my coat, that I'm too embarrassed to eat. Like, I don't want to unzip my jacket and uncrinkle this wrapped up egg and cheese in a bagel, which certainly had that the egg and cheese sandwich smell, if you're familiar with it. And this movie's long. It was like 2 hours and 20 minutes long. I sat there the whole time with a sandwich in my coat, and I didn't eat it. Anyways, I'm digressing. Yeah? So I haven't thought of Blood Diamond in a long time, and that's my Blood Diamond experience. Whether the movie was any good or not, I don't think so, but I starved during it. So, anyways, I'll put this back over here. And yeah, so this doesn't have a 4K release. That kind of stinks, at least for me. I love this movie. This is one of my favorite superhero movies. I expected it to get a 4K by now. Especially with the new Superman movie coming out, I figured they'd want to capitalize on, people seeking Superman content. Like, oh, I want to go back and watch Man of Steel, or I want to watch the Christopher Reeve movies. Maybe that's just like a me thing, but I doubt it. And my only thought is that they're waiting for the 20th year anniversary, which doesn't seem likely to me. And that would be next year, because this movie almost came out. This movie came out in 2006, so it's been nearly 20 years, which is a bit mind-boggling. And the problematic nature of the person behind the camera, that's Bryan Singer, and evil mastermind Kevin Spacey. So, admittedly, I'm not familiar with their transgressions. I think Kevin Spacey tried to come back somehow. I don't really know, but everything I read, in short, just unfortunate behavior, illegal behavior, I would like to think, coming from both those people, and Kevin Spacey plays a really large role in this movie. But it isn't like other movies featuring Kevin Spacey haven't come out on 4K. Like Seven got a re-release, The Usual Suspects, which is a Bryan Singer film. So I really have no idea. It's just really strange to me. Like, this movie, it wasn't like a smash hit, but it made double its budget, I think. It made just over like $400 million or something, and that was before, like, the only superhero movies that are making like $1 billion. I think it was like Spider-Man, maybe in the first one, and like Batman Begins, I think it made like 400 million or something. So it isn't like it was a disaster from a box office perspective. It just didn't make as much money as they wanted, so they decided to go in a different direction. But you'd think they'd probably try to have more, home video sales or something. They did put this out twice, though. There was a silent release in a sense. Like the first time this came out on Blu-ray, it didn't have the Dolby True HD track for, who knows why they didn't include it. But they put it out again with it, and I don't think they had like a replacement program. I think you had to buy it again. So just be aware of that if you're looking to purchase this. You definitely want to double check the audio and look for the True HD, because some copies of it don't have it. But as mentioned, this is one of my favorite superhero movies. I really like the Richard Donner Superman the movie, as mentioned during the previous video, and this is a sequel of sorts to Superman 1 and 2. It kind of ignores 3 and 4, which is a really curious decision considering how much time has gone by between the movies. So the characters are more like continuations of the Donner characters. So like Brandon Root definitely has his own take to a certain extent of the character, but it feels like a continuation of Christopher Reeve's Superman. And the same thing for like Lex Luthor, that feels like a continuation of how Gene Hackman approached the character. The only one that doesn't as much is Kate Bosworth as Lois. I really feel like she's lacking in this role. She just kind of feels too young to me, and she was really young when this movie came out. I want to say she was like 21 or 22, and the experience for Lois, the maturity in a sense, I don't really feel it with her Lois. I actually feel like Parker Posey is in this, and if she and Kate Bosworth were to switch roles, they keep the screenplay identical, I probably would have enjoyed it more. I feel like Parker Posey feels more like a continuation of the Lois Lane that we would know from the Donner films. But from a casting perspective, that's really the only thing that I would, wave my magic wand and update. But this is a very lonely movie, and that may be why I like it so much. Like, this is a sad Superman, and it's also just Singer's best movie by far. Like, I don't want to say by far, actually. X2 is really good, but this is just so well redirected. The action scenes are so easy to follow. How they this sky grapple with the tumbling jumbo jet. I've seen this multiple times, and as soon as that scene gets rolling, like I still like lean up in my chair a little bit. Like, it's exciting no matter how many times I've seen it. And he does a great job of like leading the audience, and there's just a lot of moments, a lot of visual storytelling in this. You may not realize it when you're kind of watching the first time, but if you go back and watch it, just everything from like alienation, trembling on the Scrabble board as Superman returns, which is like a central theme throughout the movie anyways, and even from that sequence, like he's Clark's back in his bed, and he's gazing up. You think he may be looking at the stars, but you realize there's stars on his ceiling, so you think he's staring out into space, but he's actually in his childhood room, and the camera pans down a little bit to the wallpaper, and you see cowboys and Indians, and kind of give you like a duality of his childhood. And Jimmy Olsen's introduced by like a camera that's falling, and Clark catches it, and then it's Jimmy Olsen's introduction. There's just a lot of moments like that as you watch the movie, and it's just a very enjoyable watch in that sense. So it's kind of a shame Ben Ruth didn't get another shot in this. He came back on like one of the CW shows or something like that, but I'll always really enjoy this movie. I would love for it to get a 4K. I don't think it would look too much different, but it deserves it. I just think it's one of those movies that is really watchable to me. So anyways, thanks for watching.